Hey guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today's topic is basic straight blues guitar riffs. So what are we talking about? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and also join the HPCrazy Guitar Academy with a free member account or a premium member account. So what are we talking about here today? Even it's basic, it's not basic, you know. A way to play really steady, straight and groovy straight blues guitar riffs, which are basically circling around one basic figure, but there we're gonna check out how you play it exactly and how you make variations out of the basic straight blues guitar riffs, and then to become more creative in your playing but still keeping the groove. And tip number one is when we have a backing track here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Just get proper quarter notes. Okay? So this one is in A. So I'm playing an A5 now. And to really get it straight and steady, just you can take this backing track or any other backing track. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, feel it with your body. You don't see my foot, but I mean, I have doing this with all my students. I always check the foot. Is it really tight and steady? Then make it synced with your. That's the first thing you need to do, okay? Second thing, now we're playing 8 notes, and in this case it's all downstroke. So that's a little bit strange because on the second downbeat the foot is up, so this has to be really steady, just with A5. I'm gonna go to the closure later when you're gonna check out different variations, but feeling the groove with the body is really important when you have your straight blues guitar riffs steady and tight, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next thing, when you listen to any drum groove, you hear that the snare beat comes on 2 and 4. So also make the accent on 2 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and count while you're playing, okay? And then make accent on 2 and 4. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's really simple, okay? Feeling the groove and timing is really the important part of this, and feeling relaxed in this and really make these accents, and you should be able to have your foot going on, be able to count while you're playing and stuff like that. Now what is done really often to make, you already heard it starts the groove when you make an accent on 2 and 4. Now when we are doing so-called anticipation, so you're playing, you know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we take before the next bar starts on 4 end, we anticipate the next chord, in this case the same chord, to the next bar, and this pulls even more. And then you hold it, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Together with the accent, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And don't make it all the time. Probably once you play it straight, second times you anticipate the next chord, and then it starts to really groove. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. I was in thoughts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. And then it start to groove. Really practice these elements. They're extremely important. Now we're going to check out more variation possibilities. Also moving it on a fretboard, because now when you start practice it with an open string, because there you don't really have to think so much about your grabbing hand. You can really focus on your picking hand. But later you also, when you change keys and stuff, you also should be able to move these different variations around. So now let's get more into detail. Now let's go to the next stage. We're gonna check out more variation possibilities inside these straight blues guitar riffs. So we start to build up a first, a really simple one, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2. So we just play quarter notes, 1, then to A6, and here with the pinky in the fifth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, well, it could be just this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That would already work, but it's not so cool. So we make it a little bit more groovy. We can make the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 to make the accent on 2 and 4, or as an alternative, you can make the anticipation on the 4 and, as showed before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will be the first one, and only with this anticipation, it starts to sound really cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Really cool. Yo. Now, that will be to really nail this, and out of this we can make a slight variation. So we keep the same riff. You don't want to play the same riff all the time. You want to have variations which somehow are tied to a previous version, and so this next variation will be this here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have one, we don't keep the full quarter note on 1, we keep it only till one end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. That will be a variation, but really sounds cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really cool and really works. Now you can make even more 8 notes. We start with the same thing. You can play 8 notes where you want, and you start on bar 1, you just make the quarter notes, and on bar 2 you probably made 8 notes, including the anticipation, and that will lead to this. Also works as a variation. 1, 2, 3. Or if you think this quarter note in the second bar is not cool, you play the first bar in quarter note, second bar in the 8 notes with the anticipation. That sounds like this. Let's see with the backing track. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now is the question, when do you bring these variations? I'm only showing the examples now in A, but when you have a blues in A, we have a 12-bar blues form with 4 bars A, 2 bars D. Then you just move this whole thing down here. Then back to A. These are all 2-bar figures, so now we come to E. In this case, you divide E and D, which are 2 bars, you divide a 2-bar pattern into 2 chords. Like in the normal 12-bar blues. That will be one version which can be done. And now we just play with open strings, and now I'm going to show the same thing with open string, but also here. Because it also has to be if you want to play in another key. Open string only works, of course, in A, so if you want to play in another key, you just need to understand that, as an example in A, when we have the chords, it's the L form, A, D, and E. So you just move this pattern. And this stretch is probably a bit too much for beginners, but you can play the same thing, of course, here, which is just harder to play from the technical aspect, but it's basically the same thing. Then you move one down, L form. E. So you just move these patterns through the chords here in this position, or if you want to keep the opening, you move it down here. Let's do some other examples. This will be this one here. Just a variation from what we had before. Now without here the pinky here, so we make it a little bit easier with quarter notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. The whole thing is as a two bar riffs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3. I really love this one. It's really steady and it's simple, but it works. I'll show you with a backing track. Or you can make with the anticipation. Or here in the high position, the same thing. 3, 3, 4. Yeah. You don't need to make the anticipation all the time, but if you want, it's up to you. It's like, you know, you have these Lego things and you just shuffle them around. I'm just showing you the elements which are possible. And I mean, when you finish this tutorial, you can do any straight blues guitar riff, you know, just with these elements. So we have a variation on this that will be like this. Now we add a little single note line here. Here, 3, 4. Works, or here in high position. In this case you have to do it with the pinky, slide up and then go back in position. It's a bit of technical aspect, but it's possible. Let's see how that one works with. Yeah, works. Really cool. Now let's do a last example. That will be this here. So we start here with 2 8 notes. You see, you know, the elements start to repeat themselves, but you just see how you can shuffle around the elements. Now we just twisted the beat, you know. Yeah, let's do this one here, and also can do it in the high position. Yeah, really simple. As I said, once you know the elements, you can do whatever you want. You can also make variations here with adding this adding this single note line. That will be another variation. Or you play all. This is the one of the classic ones. That's a really classic one, Chuck Berry. You play all in 8 notes. You just make the movement here on tune 4, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and with the anticipation, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then add the single note line. That's probably the most complex one, maybe the coolest one, but if you don't know the elements before, you cannot play this. I play the last one now. 1, 2, 3. It's really simple but cool. Yo guys, these were basic straight blues guitar riffs with variations. It's really simple. You need to have these modules and make the variations as showed, anticipations, accent on tune 4, maybe make a single note line in between to make it more special. And I showed you a version which works in A with open string to practice, and once you have the stuff, you know, like by heart, you can start moving around on the fretboard using this L form, and then you can play the whole thing in any key you like, and then you're ready to rock and roll. That's how it is. Now, how do you build up a full chorus, 12-bar chorus, standard blues form? In A will be 4 bars A, 2 bars D, 2 bars A, 1 bar E, 1 bar D, 1 bar A, 1 bar E. That's up to you. You can just mix the whole thing. You know, it's like you have all these little toys now and you can mix them. And one tip I can give you, don't mix it too hard. Still keep some kind of a line into it. But basically, if you play all these parts precise, it doesn't really matter. And I mean, if you play an entire song, you won't play the same pattern all through the song. You want to have these slight variations, and all these elements which I showed are the ones which are used. I'm gonna play one bar or one chorus, and then you see what I'm talking about, just making variations. 1, 2, 3. You're really free to do whatever you want. But the main thing is precision, and having the accent on 2/4 is not really needed. I've seen the guy from Status Quo, the guitar player. he didn't use the L form. He played everything on the top 2 strings. That's also possible. You can also do that if you like that more. You don't need the L form, but the L form is the one which probably everybody uses. Good. One more to say. I wrote down all the examples which I showed here on 3 pages, plus 2 examples of a full form where you mix the whole thing together, plus his backing track, 3 minutes. You can practice all this stuff. It's available in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. Please join there. It's a free member account, but in order to download the stuff, you need a premium member account. Here's the color green of hope. So with this, you hopefully become a really good straight blues guitar player. And if you know the straight stuff, the shuffle stuff, which be another tutorial which will come very soon, will also not be a problem. It's basically the same. It's about understanding the basic timing things as quarter notes, 8 in this case only quarter notes and 8 notes, and sync it with your foot as showed at the beginning. And then as soon as this whole system, you know, playing here, and you can talk while your foot is having the beat, and everything goes automatically, then you can start to be really expressive, even with simple stuff, you know. And in straight blues, that's what it is. It's not more and not less, you know. And the more precise you are, and the more you pay attention to the little details, the more relaxed you can be, the more you can order your beer on stage just with because you have time for that. So, me and Dr. Pink are saying goodbye for that, and see you guys.